Hey folks, Gary here. Happy Friday morning to you. I hope your day is starting off really super well. We've been looking at the story of Jacob found in Genesis 28. Hey, Coley Cole. Genesis 28. Cole says hi too. Well, I don't know if he says hi or not, but he showed up, which is awesome. Anyways, we've been looking at Genesis 28, the story of Jacob, and how Jacob is on this journey to go find a wife. But in the midst of his journey to go find a wife, he finds God. And what do I mean by that? Well, we know that from this passage of scripture, and we know from the rest of the Bible as well, that Abraham really knew God and God knew Abraham. We know that Isaac really knew God. And in this passage of scripture, in this section of scripture, this chapter, God says to Jacob, I was the God of your father Abraham. I was the God of your father Isaac. But we kind of get little clues here that he's not really the God of Jacob yet. And so let's take a look and see what it says here. Verses 18 down to 22. We're going to finish off the chapter. Here's what it says. When Jacob got up early the next morning, he took the rock that he used as a pillow and stood it up as a place of worship. Then he poured olive oil on the rock and dedicated it to God. And he named the place Bethel before it had been named Luz. So this first part here, this really isn't the thing that Abraham maybe would have done. Maybe he set up rocks, I'm not sure. But it seemed to be that Abraham and Isaac set up altars and they sacrificed on altars. Jacob's doing something that's a little more what the false religions would have done. But I don't think he knows any better. Then we get to verse 20, and I'm reading this from Contemporary English Version, a little different version because it phrases it a bit different, and I kind of like it's good to read different versions of the Bible now and then. It helps you get a fresh look at what you're looking at. So verse 20, it says, Jacob solemnly promised God. So he's making this promise to God, and he's making a serious promise to God. If you go with me and watch over me as I travel, and if you give me food and shelter, and if you bring me safely home again, he's making a deal with God. Have you ever done that? I think we've all done that at some point in time. Lord, if you take care of this, man, I will serve you the rest of my life. If you get me out of this trouble, God, I am all yours. God, if you just have me win the lottery, I'll give it half to you. I don't know if you said that or not, but there's things like that we make deals with God that seem a little bit ridiculous in some ways. It's like as if God needs my part of this, right? If you do this, man, I'll take care of you. I can't take care of God. God takes care of me, right? But he's making this promise like we probably have in the past too. He says, if you go with me, if you watch over me, if you provide me with food and clothing, if you bring me home, again, you will be my God. You will be my God. Saying, I really want to serve you. I think that's what he's actually saying, is I really want to serve you, but I got to know that you're my God. And the thing is, he is his God. And then it continues on in 22. This rock will be your house, and I will give back to you a tenth of everything you give me. So that's maybe part of the deal. He's talking about tithing, which you should probably do anyways, regardless. What I love about this is that God will watch over him. God will provide him food and shelter. God will return him safely home because it's God's plan to do so. A lot of times in our lives, we serve God. We might not be in the right place to do it. We might not have the right attitude to do it, kind of like Jacob at this moment. We may have questionable motives, all sorts of things. But God still uses us. God still takes care of us. God still loves us. God still provides a way for us. Why? Because the promises of God that he has for you and for me are based on him. They're based on his holiness. They're based on his righteousness. They're based on how good he is. And he calls us to join with him and says, come with me. Let me show you how good I am. And you'd be a fool not to say, I'll follow you, because he is just that good. So, yeah, let's follow the Lord. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow.